Hello, and welcome to the Lothcat Cafe. I am K3N8. You may call me Nate. Please find a seat wherever you would like, and our hosts will be with you shortly. Oh, and please watch your step. Our Lothcats like to lay around.
Thank you, Nate, and hey there, Lothcat lovers. Welcome to the cafe. I am Ryan, your host for this evening. Welcome to the Lothcat Cafe, a Star Wars and cat lovers podcast dedicated to providing a fun and positive Star Wars experience where we can all chat, laugh, and learn together. And for tonight, we're going to cover episodes 1 and 2 of Maul Shadow Lord Season 1, and we're going to do it interview style with the man himself, Maul. But first, let's go over to the latest in the galaxy. The Lothal Know-All presents Star Wars News. Now, I'm a little behind the curve. I've had several weeks off, unfortunately, so I apologize for this gap in between. So we'll just cover a little bit of what's been going on. So, Maul Shadow Lord ends its season in huge style. For those of you who haven't actually caught up, I won't really reveal any spoilers to it, but Star Wars Shadow Lord was incredible. It wrapped up its final run a couple weeks ago, and fan reactions have all been strong across the board. Across fan circles, viewers have been praising the darker tones, the underworld storytelling, and the series' deeper exploration of Darth Maul after the fall of the Shadow Collective. Fans especially loved the brutal action and weirdly emotional moments involving Maul trying to act like a semi-functional crime boss, and I'm saying the keyword is trying. One fan online described the ending as peak animated Star Wars, and I do feel like I need to agree with that. I had shivers watching those last two episodes. And of course, because it's Maul, other fans are screaming, Kenobi! I'm not going to yell that because I've got neighbors and I'm trying. And so they did confirm that there will be a season 2 it's signed on for. As far as when that will arrive, we don't really know, but we'll have to wait and find out. Now, we missed May the 4th, but this year's 2026 Star Wars Day brought some new reveals, which is pretty cool. The highlights were more looks at the Mandalorian and Grogu film coming out that will actually be dropping at the time I'm recording this tomorrow. So that is extremely exciting. The reveal trailer for the new game of Star Wars Galactic Racer, new Galaxy's Edge updates that is definitely leaning more into the original trilogy and those characters, and plenty of merchandise everywhere from shirts to hats to toys to gosh knows what else, but quite a bit. So a moment of silence for everyone's wallet now, if you don't mind. Fans continue speculating about future projects over on fan communities like Reddit. Speculation is focused heavily on possible announcements for Ahsoka Season 2, which looks like it's going to be at the beginning of 2027. Potential Jedi 3 game reveal, which I'm pretty excited for. The future of Lucasfilm leadership with Dave Filoni taking over, and whether there's another big theatrical trilogy brewing, it kind of in secret. Kind of like the First Order. Fans also debated whether this year's May the 4th felt quiet compared to previous years. On years past, we've gotten Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, that kind of thing coming out. So I can see where people were kind of disappointed that we didn't get a surprise release for May the 4th. However, I would also argue we had Maul Shadow Lord, and I think that is more than enough for anybody. Releases this week. On May 22nd, we get the Mandalorian Grogu theatrical release. The biggest hyperspace jump of the week arriving. Creators Jon Favreau, writers Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Noah Clore. Music by Ludwig Göransson. I already have my tickets. I'll be seeing it at 10 p.m. tomorrow night, and I am extremely excited. For those of you who aren't aware of what the story description is, so it is set after the Return of the Jedi, and it follows Din Djarin and Grogu, who is increasingly chaotic, force-powered little man, as the New Republic sends them on a dangerous mission tied to Rada the Hutt and lingering Imperial warlords. Expect bounty hunting, Hutts, starfighter, combat, cool aliens, Grogu doing absolutely adorable things, and it's very exciting. So this is Lucasfilm's massive return to theaters. It's been quite a while, so a big leap from Disney Plus. The early reviews have been kind of all over the place. Some critics are praising the adventure tones, others say it feels like premium serialized Star Wars on an IMAX budget, others are not as positive. So I'm not going to listen to any of those, because honestly I'm kind of done listening to critics. I just want to go see a movie and enjoy it, and I truly believe that this will be a great story, so I'm very excited to see it. We also get some Mandalorian and Grogu tie-ins on the book side, several publishing tie-ins, visual guide material, behind-the-scenes references, film companion publishing, and they're going to expand on the film's creatures, ships, armor design, lore details, lots of cool stuff. We also have some comics coming around the corner, so we've got the Maul Shadow Lord companion. Connected Publishing expands the criminal underworld and Maul-era storytelling surrounding the animated series. We got the 10th anniversary comic content of Rogue One, new stories and anniversary material celebrating the beloved Rebel mission that made everyone cry at the end. Some High Republic stories with Jedi, the Nihil, Ancient Force weirdness, all that good stuff. And some Bad Batch stories as well. So additional clone-focused adventures, continuing threads tied into fan-favorite characters. So that will all be a blast. And that's it for all of our releases for this week. Now, I'm sure you're awaiting my little off-cut update. Weather is doing well. However, we have had some massive temperature spikes in the last couple days, so we are just focused on trying to keep him nice and cool, so that way he is not in a very, very warm apartment. But luckily, he's a smart cat. He's got little cooling turrets all over the place. We've got the AC on for him when he needs it. So he's doing well. And he's still finding it in his heart to snuggle with us too, despite the heat. So he's a very good cat. He's taking great care of us. Also, side note, with all of the Mandalorian and Grogu merchandise around, I am spoiling myself and being spoiled by my fiance as well. I've got a popcorn bucket with Grogu and the Anzellans hanging off of it. My other half actually drove to the movie theater to pick up the Mandalorian helm cup with the straw out of it, and frankly that is just going to be for display purposes because it is beautiful and I do not want to ruin it. So lots of really, really cool merchandise around. We went ham at the Star Wars store, or at the Disney store in New York a week or two ago after May the 4th. Especially, they have these little cylinders with creature reveals in them. It's got this yellow goo in it and a light on the top. You hit the light so that way you see the shadow of whatever creature you're going to get, and you hit the button at the bottom, and all of that yellow goo disappears down the bottom, and you get to see what your little creature is. So if you're a sucker for mystery packs like I am, and you love your Star Wars creatures, check those out because they are pretty incredible. And anyway, that does it for our appetizer portion. We will be back shortly with our main course. Alright, welcome back! Today we are covering episodes 1 and 2 of Maul Shadow Lord, titled The Dark Revenge and Sinister Schemes, created by Dave Filoni. This has been directed by Brad Rao, Stuart Lee, Saul Ruiz, and Nate Villanueva, if I'm saying that correctly, written by Matt Michnovitz, and composed by Kevin, Sean, and Deanna Kiner. And it is starring Sam Witwer as Maul himself, known as, Maul in Clone Wars and Shadow Lord, as well as playing Galen Merrick, Starkiller in Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Outside of Star Wars, he's known for being human in Smallville, as well as some other roles, including Once Upon a Time. It took me a second to think of that for a second. Anyway, Gideon Adlon as Devin Azara, a new Padawan character for the series, known from Blockers. Wagner Mora, who's Captain Brander Lawson, known for his role in Narcos as Pablo Escobar, and plays a morally conflicted law officer on Janix. Richard Ayoade as Two Boots, which is pretty cool. He also voiced Q90, also known as Zero, in The Mandalorian. He's also made famous from the It Crowd. For Maul's crew, let's see, we got, and this is going to be a mouthful, Chris Diamantopoulos? I'm going to go with that. As Ludi Vario, known for voicing Mickey Mouse in modern Disney shorts. He appears as a crime boss early on in the series. David W. Collins is Spybot. He voiced Proxy in The Force Unleashed. And he plays Maul's chaotic animal-like droid companion. Steve Blum as Icarus, who also voiced Zeb Aurelios in Rebels. And he is a legendary voice actor, also known for Cowboy Bebop. And then we've got Scorn, Zabrak Enforcer, who appears alongside Icarus, who he's not officially credited in the main cast listing yet, but part of Maul's core crew off-screen, so we don't have a actor name for that as well. For some of the allies and Jedi and civilians, we got Dennis Haysbert as Master Iko Diodaki, known for 24 and the Allstate commercials, that's his stand, and he plays Devon's Jedi Master in the premiere. We get Pamela Adlon, who's Rian Asul, known from Better Things, a morally gray casino owner tied to both crime and law enforcement, and Charlie Bushnell, Riley Lawson. So he is Lawson's son. He's known for Diary of a Future President, and he plays the detective's son. As far as returning characters, let's see. Vanessa Marshall is returning as Rook Cast, originally from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. She voiced Hera Syndulla in Rebels. And then we got A.J. Lacoscio as Marok. He voiced characters in multiple animated projects, and Marok is an Inquisitor tied to the Empire. He's been teased before. He made an appearance in Ahsoka, but this time is more of an expanded role. The air date was on April 6th, 2026, and the runtime between both episodes were about 51 minutes. Alright, so Maul, let's jump right in. There's this whole insane bank heist, Mandalorian, Zabraks, explosions, just walk me through it.
Ah, yes, a masterpiece, if you don't mind me saying. A sprawling city full of greed, corruption. My Mandalorians, led by the ever-efficient Rook Cast, descend dramatically down a bank tower.
Like, ascend with ropes?
Abseiling. It sounds cooler. Say it properly.
Abseiling, got it. So, like rappelling. Alright, very fancy crime phrasing. Hey, I'm learning something new.
Below, a bank transport arrives, unguarded, vulnerable, practically begging to be stolen. My droid Spybot, a genius unlike most hosts of podcasts, fires a spike into the system. The doors open, chaos begins, blaster fire everywhere, droids falling, Mandalorians moving like poetry. It rhymes.
And the Zabrak brothers?
Ah, yes, Icarus and Scorn. Enthusiastic, loud, loyal, and excellent at shooting things. Of course, the Tactical Defense Force arrives. They always do, like pests. One airspeeder, taken out by cable traps.
Wait, cable traps?
Yes, I enjoy creativity in destruction. The second speeder tries to escape and fails spectacularly.
I mean, you sound very proud.
I am. You should try it sometime.
Okay, but this is what I want to know. You show up for the first time in the series well after most of the action has taken place, right?
Yes, timing is everything. The Mandalorians pretend to surrender. The officers feel confident, hopeful, and for now, alive. Then I descend.
Yeah, that's very dramatic.
Yes, they shoot at me.
Rude.
Yes, but I deflect every bolt. Every single one. And then I reveal myself.
You practiced that in a mirror, didn't you?
Perhaps.
Alright, so meanwhile, there's this whole other thing happening. So Jedi fugitives and a kid stealing fruit?
Yes, completely unrelated to my brilliance, yet somehow equally chaotic. A Padawan, Devon Izara, attempts theft poorly. She drops the fruit and is arrested.
So in this episode, we've got a high-level bank heist and a failed apple robbery?
Crime comes in many forms.
Seems like they could have used better camouflage. Get it? That's an apple pun.
You're an idiot.
Well, I'm just gonna let that one go. So, why rob the bank?
Revenge, strategy, symbolism. The rise of the Empire created imbalance, suffering, and opportunity. I target crime lords Nico Demas and Ludi Vario. because they thrive in chaos.
And so you arrive and make it more chaos.
Exactly. You are listening. I send them a message. Literally, a droid head in a pot.
That's aggressive. I mean, you kind of just ruined their Star Wars chicken parm.
Yes, it inspires conversation. Demas and Vario meet. Tensions rise. Accusations fly. Then...
Wait a second. Let me guess.
blaster fire everywhere.
Called it.
Demas dies at the end of Vario's blaster. Vario escapes. Briefly, my strike team pursues Vario. Speeders crash, blasters fire, dramatic shouting, mostly from the Zabraks.
Yeah, they do seem like they would scream a lot.
Constantly.
And that's when Captain Lawson shows up, right?
Yes, persistent, annoying, morally upright, very inconvenient.
Ugh, worst kind of person.
Yes, indeed. And yes, we are on to my favorite part. We infiltrate the police station through tunnels. My trusty spy bot disables everything. Cameras, sensors, dignity.
Dignity?
Especially dignity. Blast doors locked, systems fail, panic spreads. It's beautiful.
You are really enjoying this.
Immensely. I confront Lawson, remove his weapon with the Force.
Show off.
I knock him unconscious. Then I carve through droids and guards.
You are smiling, aren't you?
What, you can hear that? Anyway, I reach Vario. He begs. He offers money, ships, weapons.
Classic desperate criminal move.
Pathetic, but useful. He mentions Mark Grimm of the Pike Syndicate.
And you're thinking...
that I will allow him to live. For now.
Well, that is generous. 5-star villain behavior would be kidnapped again.
But then I sense something else. A presence. I turn, and I see her.
The kid? The fruit thief?
Yes, Devon Azara. And she recognizes me.
That's kind of awkward.
No, it is intriguing.
Alright, so that is the end of episode 1, so let me summarize. You robbed a bank, started a gang war, broke into a prison, kidnapped a crime lord, and somehow the most relatable moment was a kid dropping fruit.
Yes, a flawless operation.
Debatable, but entertaining. Maul, I think it's time for a quick break before we tackle episode 2.
If you survive the next episode, you are welcome.
Bud, that sounded like a threat.
It was.
All right, and we are back from our break.
I was told there would be tea and screaming.
Yeah, well, give it time. So let's start with your latest, we'll call it field trip. So you kidnapped 2 people.
Kidnap is such an ugly word. I prefer a strategic relocation. Myself, my loyal Zabraks, Scorn, and Icarus, and a delightful little murder droid you'd love. We acquired 2 assets, Devon Azara and Luti Vario.
Right, assets. So this all goes down in the hangar, right?
Yes, we scale down. Doors open, thank you, Spybot. And suddenly, blaster fire everywhere. Captain Brander Lawson and his officers ruin the mood.
Classic cops, always ruining kidnappings.
Exactly. One of my captains, Azara, tries to run. Admirable. She makes it all the way into the tunnel.
And escapes?
No. She runs directly into a dead end and gets stunned unconscious.
Less admirable.
We load them into vehicles, one being a stolen bank transport because subtlety is overrated. And we leave. Before exiting, we seal the hangar door.
And the police?
Oh, they try. They break in, commandeer speeders, chase us. It becomes a whole thing.
You got rockets involved, didn't you?
Naturally. The Mandalorians vaporize a pursuing speeder. It was very satisfying.
And then a Jedi shows up.
Yes, Master Iko Diodaki drops in from a bridge like he's auditioning for a holodrama.
Well, what happens then?
He flips one of our speeders, causes a crash, and suddenly we're in a full duel. It was very nostalgic.
You do love a good duel.
It's great cardio.
And then you go and you split a bridge.
Yes, the police were closing in, so I tore apart a pedestrian bridge with the force.
To escape?
To multitask. They save civilians. I escape. Everyone feels heroic.
And the next morning, Lawson's trying to figure you out.
He's very curious. It's very flattering.
And his partner, Two Boots, wants to call in the Empire.
Of course it does. When things get difficult, call in a larger, more oppressive problem.
And meanwhile, you're back at your hideout with your prisoners.
Yes, Zara is injured, so I have her treated.
Wow, is that compassion?
Do not ruin my reputation. I needed her alive.
And Vario?
He is temporarily useful.
Alright, so you threaten Vario for information.
I prefer motivational demonstration. I levitate a sled of heavy metal over him.
Did you drop it?
I did, but only near him. I am not unreasonable.
And then you have a very interesting conversation with Azara.
Yes, she is a Jedi. Idealistic, hopeful, adorable, really.
And you try to recruit her?
I simply offer perspective. The galaxy is not so much good versus evil. It is layered.
And she says,
no.
Straight up like that?
Yes, it was very rude. I have my work cut out for me.
Alright, and then you go after the Pikes, correct?
Yes, I sabotage their ship. I redirect it, board it, and I eliminate everyone.
You know, you're saying that pretty casually.
I had a busy day, and I'm still waiting for my tea.
It's fair enough. Hey, Kate, hey Nate, can we get Maul's tea? Nate? Tea, please. Alright, that should hopefully be right out. What about their leader?
Yes, he warns me about Marge Cream. I disagree. I remove him from the conversation permanently.
Oh boy. Well, back on Janix, Lawson's investigating, and he's talking to some underworld contacts.
Yes, he's asking about my Shadow Collective. It's very nostalgic for me.
But there is somebody following him.
Yes, the Jedi again. They do love their dramatic entrances.
Yeah, they're not the only ones.
What was that?
Nothing. One final question though. Your prisoner is Zara, so she escapes?
She tries.
Well, what happened?
She fails to open her cell the simple way, so she lifts the entire thing with the Force and smashes it open.
That's actually kind of impressive, right?
Yes, it is why I chose her.
Alright, well, to recap episode 2, you kidnapped people, fought a Jedi, destroyed the bridge, interrogated a crime lord, wiped out a syndicate crew, and accidentally trained your prisoner to become even more powerful.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds busy.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's our time. Thanks for coming on our show, Maul. Please don't kill me on your way out.
No promises.
Anyway, where can you find us? We're on Facebook at Lothcat Cafe, and join the Lothcat Cafe community group. We're on Instagram, Threads, X, Blue Sky, and Reddit. We're going to see you next week, where we're going to cover episode 3 of Maul Shadow Lord. Don't forget to get your submissions in for next week's Lothcat of the Week, and you can send us a message on any of our socials. Feel free to message us with any questions you want to hear us discuss on the show. Please rate and subscribe. It does help us out a lot. Anyway, we're going to see you next week. To quote the show, Booshki-doo. And don't forget, we love you.
And I do not.
Bye, everybody.